70 WDAY. The opinions expressed on the Jay Thomas Show are the opinions of the host, participating callers, and/or listener emails, texts, and/or letters, and are not necessarily the opinions of WDAY or Forum Communications. WDAY 970 AM and 93.1 FM invites you to make your opinion known. We pride ourselves on exploring all viewpoints on any topic.
Do you know who I am? I don't know how to put this, but kind of a big deal.
Yeah, all right.
People know me.
Get this rolling,
I'm very happy for you.
Boy, are we all in a good mood today? Sunshine. Some pretty nice temps right now, 65. Another good one tomorrow, Kyle and listeners. And then, well, the bottom falls out. On a good news note, the Main Avenue double lane roundabout opens Thursday. Yeah, buddy. Woo, we're excited for that. And the Twins trying to get a win tonight. Now they better. Otherwise, they are done. Out. And Rob Porter got a big smile on his face because his Yankees called them something else.
Wow.
I
don't want to know where you're going with that.
Oh, it almost slipped out, man. Welcome to a Monday edition of the Jay Thomas Show. 293-9000, toll free 1-888-970-9329. Email, text, talk, WDAY.com. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Minnesota Vikings, did they look that good yesterday, or the Giants that bad? 28-10 win. We go 3-2 on the season. You know, the Cowboys just could not help us out. They just couldn't get it done against Green Bay yesterday. Thanks a lot, Cowboys. Minnesota Vikings final score winner. Wow, this dude came out within one. Rob, he didn't do too bad.
That's pretty good.
Russ F. You've got 9 minutes to call me. Russ called the game 27-10 Vikings. Final score, of course, was 28-10. So, Russ, I hope you're listening. You got 9 minutes to call us in the studio, 293-9000, and claim that $50 gift certificate to Pub West, our sponsor this year, Minnesota Vikings final score, and all weekly winners. And there goes the phone already. That must be Russ. All weekly winners go into a drawing for a grand prize at the end of the season of a $250 gift certificate to Pub West, just off Veterans Boulevard on Blue Stem Drive in West Fargo. Great place to watch the game or just go relax, have a cocktail, or get some great food. They got a chef right there on site, so it's not just your typical bar food. 27-10. Russ, congratulations. Rob, how was the weekend, buddy?
Well, it was great watching the Yankees whoop up on the Twins all weekend.
Now, I believe I watched Friday night's game, and the Twins were hanging in there for a while. Ended up, though, 10-4. They got their butts handed to them, and I believe, 8-2 Saturday?
8-2, yeah. 8-2 Saturday. Didi hit a grand slam, which was beautiful. We got up on their Tyler Duffy both times. I don't know what the Yankees. Somebody texted me before the game. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to make it because it was a great story. Dobnak's story is great. Was an Uber driver last year playing in independent league, came all the way up. He's now in the majors, starting in the postseason. But somebody texted me before the game. They said one of these teams is starting a former Uber driver on purpose, and the other team's going to the ALCS.
And that upset some people in the stands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some people were upset because the Yankees fans were making fun of him being an Uber driver, which I don't understand. Lighten up. I mean,
exactly.
Also, first of all, have the bleacher creatures in New York.
Yeah,
that's probably the nicest thing they said about that guy that night. So,
people in this day and age, they take things to the nth degree. They take things way too seriously. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you caught the story. There was a. Talks about how politics may be bad for your health. Was it Sumathi Reddy? I think, that's who did this piece for the Wall Street Journal. Yes, her story starts out: an Iowa man is so bothered by the political climate that his psychologist says he asked for a higher dosage of anxiety medication. A Chicago woman is so uneasy about politics that she's needed 2 dental implants to deal with her teeth grinding habit. And a New York woman says she suffered her first flare-up of multiple sclerosis in 10 years due to the political angst. Americans are stressed and politics is the major cause, according to psychologists, psychiatrists, and recent surveys. The study published in September in the Journal of PLOS found that politics is a source of stress for 38% of Americans. I'll tell you, maybe it's because I don't follow politics that closely. I kind of keep an eye on it a little bit. but I don't get stressed out by it.
I think it's the way people are reacting to it. And also, I think these trends towards anxiety, interestingly enough, my next episode, which I recorded just before the show, that'll be publishing tomorrow of my podcast, Plain Talk, is with NDSU professor of psychology and behavioral science researcher Clay Rutledge, talking about this very topic. His 3 words, he says, it's not Trump, or at least it's not just Trump. These trends towards feelings of anxiety, feelings of isolation, they predate Trump, and really they even have their roots pre-internet. I think it's very easy to blame social media. It's very easy to blame even more recently President Trump. But these are very complicated trends, and they go back a long way. And my argument is really because I'm tongue on cheek. Jay, you've sort of brought up the outrage of the day, and I think my tongue in cheek reaction to be people just have too much time on their hands, and I really think that's true. You go back to like the 1950s, 1960s, the most common job in the United States of America was farmer.
Yeah,
we're not like that anymore.
No,
we have a lot more people. Work is easier. We may spend a lot more time at work, but we have a lot more leisure time than we used to.
And where are we spending that leisure time?
We were spending that leisure
time
on social media, obsessing about things.
And watching talking head TV shows. Let me give you an example. Last week, I'm out in the garage, usually where I'm at.
They should be listening to talking head shows.
I love hanging out in the garage. I love being outside. I decided, you know what, I'm going to, because I don't watch a whole lot of the talking head shows on TV. I'll pop in once in a while when something big's going on. So I decided I popped on Sean Hannity, for example. I had him on for about a half hour. I couldn't take it anymore. I was literally getting PO'd listening to this guy, what he had to say. Not just PO'd, and oh my God,
and you're saying that you're a pro-Trump, you're a pro-Trump guy.
But that's not what I was meant. It was the stuff he says. Like, my God, is it really this bad for Trump? I already know it's bad for Trump, but just watching what I say, it's like you would think that the world is coming to an end.
It's exhausting.
So then I flip over to MSNBC and watch about a half hour of that, and it's the same thing. It's like if you sit and watch and listen to this stuff, it will drive you crazy. And the problem is there are people out there that think that what they're watching is diehard news. And it's entertainment is what it is.
The podcast is interesting, but there's a lot of things that go into it. I think in some ways we've become a victim of our own success. In a lot of ways, we've withdrawn. The popular thing is to talk about how fewer people are going to church. I'm an atheist. I don't really have a dog in that hunt. But look at the decline in some of the fraternal organizations, like the Masons. Yeah. Like the Kiwanis Club. The
Elks Club,
the
stuff
Elks,
like that,
the Moose. All of those memberships have declined. Some of those groups they don't even exist anymore. There's just a lot of social participation that we're not doing anymore. There's just a lot of factors that go into this.
Good example. So Thursday on my program, I had made the decision that I was not going to take text messages anymore on the show. Holy cow, did that upset people? And my reason behind, I had a couple of reasons behind it. I've changed my mind. If you want to text, you can text the show because people made some good points. But my reason behind it was, my God, we don't talk to each other anymore. You sit down and you just on the key and send it across. I have given some examples. I got friends that do that. I get so mad at them. I text them back or just call me. I want to talk to people. And that was one of my reasons behind it. Like I said, people made good points as to, well, if you do that, then, your show's a podcast now. You're not taking, hey, I'm at work. I can't email you. I'm going to get in trouble. I can't call you. I'm going to get in trouble. This is the only way I can respond. So I'm going to continue to do text messages. But holy cow, man, people were upset, Rob.
Yeah.
We just don't talk to each other anymore.
Yeah. There's just so many factors. And I think you go back far enough, it's not anyone. It's not just the internet. It's not just modern politics.
Factors.
There's a lot of things. And I think a lot of them all play into one another. I think one of the reasons we can't get along anymore is because everything's just these very flippant social media messages. I think, the news media, they've obviously found a product that sells, and that product that sells is people shouting at each other on television or the talking heads shouting at you.
I'm watching Hannity and not just Hannity, but I can't remember who was on the one I flipped on over on MSNBC. But yeah, it's like 6 people and they're just going at it. My God, you're accomplishing nothing here.
Some of the CNN panels get so big. They're all sitting around that desk, and it's like you're thankful that you have a widescreen television. They never would have got all those people on the screen. in another era. But I can't watch, I will, if there's like breaking news or something, I'll flip on cable news. But I tried watching, I'm a conservative Republican, and I'm trying to watch Hannity, and I'm just like, this is
it's ridiculous.
And it's not even Trump or anything else. It's just the breathless, like, end of the world.
But, yes, that's it. Yes,
but look at even in our, look at what's one of the most popular television shows recently? The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, which I watched last night. Horrible. I'm done with this show.
Look at all these shows. They're all about these
end of the world,
dystopian futures, everything else. There's something going on in our society, and I feel like we need to maybe pull back from the brink a little bit, connect with each other a little bit more, be a little bit more patient. And hey, listen. I do the politics thing for a living. I got to tell you, this stuff doesn't matter as much as you think it does sometimes.
I'm telling you, that's why you got to listen to the Jay Thomas Show, because we try to stay away from that stuff as much as possible, just to have fun in the afternoon. This is an escape for people. Oh, by the way, the new rule that we decided last week goes into effect today. Rob, you're not going to believe this, but I am going to now. It's another thing that came up with the show last Thursday, and it made sense. It's been a rule in talk radio for years, and we're going to break the rule in this program. I'm going to allow people to double dip on this show. In other words, you can call more than once, not on the same topic. But hey, if you call on a topic, you want to comment on what Rob and I are talking about, but then later on I'm doing another topic. Like, well, I'd love to call in on that, but I can't because I already called the show once. I'm gonna get rid of that, bro. That rule's done. We're gonna try it out for 30 days because there's good points based. Like, hey, Jay, I call the program and then an hour later you had somebody on. I really want to talk to that guest or I really want to comment, but I can't now because you got this double dip rule. I'm like, you know what? That makes sense. Yeah, I'd be ticked off too.
Sounds like a good. Look at this, Jay Thomas, responsive to the people.
Yeah, it's because it's their show too. It's my mistake.
You should run for office.
Oh, stop it. Hey, listen, I am the mayor of Manland already. I can't run for another.
Mayor of what?
Manland. Hey.
That is not. Oh man, people are going to find out about that. That is not.
Oh, I've been mayor of that land for a long time.
I mean, not as much trouble as calling kids dumb, I guess. But you're in trouble.
That's true. That's true. I'm not quite up there on the ladder yet with you. Hey, coming up in the program this afternoon, the new Main Avenue roundabout opens Thursday. It's a double lane, 2-lane, first one, 2-lane in North Dakota. Oh, we are going to have some fun with that. Also, with this possible winter storm coming, just how bad is this going to be? How overplayed is this? Well, John Wheeler's going to join us at about 2:40 this afternoon. Plus, we had a bunch of other fun stuff as well. Hey, did Russ call in, Kyle?
Yes, he did.
All right, congratulations, Russ. You got this week's. You're this week's winner, Minnesota Vikings final score. Rob, when we come back, the left is just—they are just. Oh my God, they're salivating over the poll that just Trump is just dying in North Dakota. Not buying it, are you?
I don't think so.
Either am I. I'm with you. We'll talk about that when we come back. And look, your phone call's welcome. If you want to weigh in on anything Rob and I talk about on Mondays, you're more than welcome to 293-9000. Toll free 1-888-970-9329. Email or text. It's talk@WDAY.com. And yes, if you comment on anything we're talking about, you can call in later on. We're going to try the double dipping thing. Jay Thomas Show. Also, we're going to talk a little bit later on about this family out of Fargo who lost their sons in a deadly North Dakota crash back in 2018. It involved bad weather, icy roads. They're suing the semi-driver and the company for $10 million. And I kind of question that. We'll hit that later on. 222, our weekly chat, RobPortSandingBlog.com, also host of the world-famous Plain Talk podcast, and also columnist for Forum Communications. And you can jump in on the conversation at any time. 293-9000 is the number. Email or text. It is talk@WDAY.com. Your article, Rob, recently some members of North Dakota's left-wing media have been giddy touting a Morning Consult poll, which shows President Trump with some discouraging approval numbers among North Dakotans. The survey was conducted by Morning Consult, which found 49% approval for the president among North Dakotans, 48% disapproval. As a point of reference, you go on to say in Minnesota, the president has a 43% approval rating. I'm not sure that passes the smell test for several reasons. Rob, why doesn't pass the smell test? And this is a question I have because you bring this up in your piece. If you're out there listening and you're a farmer or a business owner, my question to you, and I want you to be honest, how much are Trump's policies hurting you when it comes to policies, when it comes to what's going on with China? I'd love to know from you farmers and you business owners how much this stuff is hurting you. All right, Rob.
Well, the reason why I'm struggling with it a little bit, I wouldn't doubt, I don't doubt at all that President Trump's popularity has fallen somewhat. I don't think you can have some of the stuff going on, because there's no question his trade policies have impacted foreign country, right? There's just no question. His trade policies have impacted manufacturing, a lot of businesses in North Dakota. So I wouldn't be surprised if it fell somewhat. I also wouldn't be surprised somewhat because part of the Trump coalition are a lot of Republicans who didn't necessarily like him that much, but definitely liked him better than Hillary Clinton and ended up voting for him. So those people, if they're surveyed in between elections, and it's just, whether or not you like Trump on his own, not contrasted with a Democratic candidate, a lot of those people are going to say they don't like him. They're also probably going to vote for him if it's Trump versus, say, Elizabeth Warren. So There's a lot of that stuff going on. But also, we have two relatively recent polls which show, numbers for Trump that aren't anywhere close to this. In Morning Consult, we have one that was released by the Burgum campaign by a polling firm called 1892, well-respected polling firm. Now, granted, this is coming from a Republican campaign, but this isn't the result for the candidate. This is showing President Trump at about 60% favorability in the state of North Dakota. Now, that's if
he's going up against Biden, correct?
No, that was his favorability up against Biden. Okay. Up against Biden, I think he was in the high 50% in terms of the actual outcome. So, that was pretty good. That was in August. Now, even a little bit before that, back in July, I got some polling numbers from DFM Research. They're a firm with a track record. They've worked for both Republicans and Democratic interests in the state. As a matter of fact, DFM Research at one point was polling for the North Dakota Democratic Party on behalf of Heidi Heitkamp and that in this last cycle. So, they're hardly a, sort of a partisan outfit or pro-Trump outfit. And they showed President Trump at a 56% favorable rating. Again, that's just back in July. Now, it could be we are coming into harvest. Yeah. And some farmers are starting
trying to.
But farmers are starting to understand what their end financial outlook is going to be, right? Because that's sort of a reality of farming. You don't really know until you harvest it and you sell it or whatever. I mean, there's just a lot of uncertainty there. Things are more certain now on what the impact of the trade. So it wouldn't surprise me if the numbers had moved somewhat, but I'm just not buying it. And by the way, I have an even more recent poll that I can't. Somebody told me on condition of anonymity, they don't want their polling numbers used because they're polling a statewide issue, and they polled Trump as a marker. But they also shared with me results showing, basically in line with these two other polls, but far more recent, that Trump is about where he's always been in North Dakota. The other thing I wanted to point out too, though, is it may not matter how popular or unpopular Donald Trump is on his own, because again, on election day,
depends on who he's running up against.
It's going to be pretty much a binary choice. So is he going to get so unpopular that North Dakota is going to vote for a Democratic president for the first time since Lyndon Baines Johnson, especially if it's somebody like Elizabeth Warren on the ballot? I just don't think so. I just don't think that's going to happen.
No, I think, when it comes to President Trump in North Dakota, I think if you were to do polling, let's just say in the metro area here in Fargo, Trump, I don't think Trump's going to do that good, because this is becoming more and more a progressive area of the state. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that's probably true. Yeah. Although Trump did pretty well. I mean, in the 2016 elections, and I'm actually going to pull up some numbers here while I'm talking, but in the 2016 election, Republicans picked up some legislative districts that they maybe shouldn't have. As a matter of fact, it's going to be interesting to watch some of those legislative races this time around to see if they could do it again, because I don't remember, in 2016, legislative Democrats in North Dakota got absolutely slaughtered. And a big part of that is those reliably Democratic districts saw a shift in North Dakota to Trump. Now, is that going to be true again? I don't know. We're not going to know until the day happens.
Polls are polls, man. We don't know until we go to election days here. Look what happened last time. I mean, you could take a poll for whatever. But again, at the end of the day, I think in this day and age, people. I honestly don't think people are that honest when it comes to polling, because they're just afraid. Well, geez, I don't know if somebody finds out what I said. I think it all changes when they get into that voting booth, because nobody's going to know how I voted. I may have said this or said, but no, this is really which way I'm going to go. And I think that's what happened with President Trump the first time around. And honestly, this time around, I don't think anybody on the left there's nobody on the left that has a snowball's chance in hell of beating President Trump in this election.
What do you think President Trump got in terms of his vote in Cass County in 2016?
What did he get for his vote? You mean percentage?
Percentage.
Oof. In Cass County.
Cass County.
Okay. I'm going to take a guess. Do
you think he won the county, or do you think Clinton won?
Boy, you know what? I think he lost the county just because the county majority of the county makes up the metro area. Am I wrong? I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, you are. He got almost 50% of the vote.
He did.
Clinton got 38%. Wasn't even close.
Okay,
in
good.
Cass County.
Good.
So Trump actually performed better among, I'm saying blue areas for North Dakota. You got to remember, you're grading on a scale in North Dakota. Our blue areas would be Republican districts in other states.
Sure.
But Trump did very well in Democratic areas in the state. I think Trump is probably going to prove pretty resilient in terms of his popularity in North Dakota. There are a lot of good, especially as what's going on in China with Hong Kong. I think that's a justification for the trade war with China that Trump hasn't necessarily deployed yet. I think he's going to prove a lot more resilient in North Dakota than maybe some people are giving him credit for.
I think all this impeachment crap we're going through again, the left is just stabbing themselves in the foot. That's all they're doing. They are not winning people over. I think they're losing more people than they are winning over. At the end of the day, they don't have a candidate, thank God, that can go up against President Trump. At the end of the day, he's getting 4 more years, and I think the Dems, the left media, they just won't accept this fact. They just will not accept it. But at the end of the day, this guy's getting 4 more years. I'm supposed to ask you real quick before we roll out of here. Ask Rob if he thinks the Yankees can beat the Dodgers in the World Series.
I think we can. That would be a heck of a matchup. I honestly thought that the Twins-Yankees matchup was going to be closer. I mean, the Twins are a good team. I'm not sure what's happened. I guess the Yankees just...
They got Viking syndrome.
Well, yeah. They now have, I think it's 14 straight postseason losses.
Yeah, I was just reading that earlier. Yeah, it's not good.
It's a shame. The Twins, honestly, all joking aside, I loved watching the Twins play this year. They had a great team.
They had a fantastic team.
I wish they'd come into the postseason at full strength. I know they've got some injuries in that. But they've been fun to watch all year. I don't think Twins fans should feel bad at all about their team.
Well, you're talking like it's over, Rob. We got a game tonight at Target. Come on, man. We are gonna knock the Yankees into the dirt.
That's my You think so? Okay. Well, maybe.
Oh, yes.
That's my Yankees bias coming out. I don't think it's going to happen.
Hey, little Yankee boy. Let me tell you something. Twins are going to get it done. I believe 6:40 first crack of the bat tonight.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Should be fun.
Game 3. All right, Rob. And again, tomorrow your podcast is talking about politics and depression, or not depression, but...
Well, just sort of a rise in affluence in America and why we're not happier. I mean, we have so many great things going on. Why aren't we happier? It's interesting.
All right. You want to check it out? SayAnythingBlog.com. Also look for Rob's articles as well at many of our in-forum forum communication publications. Rob, appreciate it. Thanks, buddy. We'll talk to you next Monday.
Thank you.
WDY time, 2:32. What the heck is going on with the weather? We're warm today, warm tomorrow, then all of a